What happens when four adopted brothers return to their hometown when their mother is murdered and vow to exact revenge on the killers? Easy. You've got this film here. And can you believe it's been 20 years since it came out? Yep. Here's my review of Four Brothers. Yo, this is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Dual, better known to you as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 2005 action drama flick Four Brothers, released by Paramount, directed by John Singleton, written by David Elliott and Paul Lovett. Starring Mark Wahlberg, Tyrese Gibson, Andre Benjamin, and Garrett Hedlund as four adopted brothers who set out to avenge the murder of their adoptive mother. The film has been described as blaxploitation influenced. The film was released on this day, August 12th, 2005. Got mixed reviews and did pretty decent enough. This film feels like it's a modern day update in a different way of the 1965 classic western The Sons of K. Elder, except in a different way because it's about four adopted brothers. No, not four brothers who were actually related to who were the actual sons to the titular character. I think you get the idea. Let's get into the story. An older woman, Evelyn Mercer, is murdered at a convenience store in Highland Park, Michigan, when a robbery occurs that results in the death of the store clerk and her, the sole witness. The incident brings her four adopted sons back home to Detroit, Michigan to find out what happened. The oldest is a lifelong criminal, hot tempered Bobby. The second oldest is family man and Union Constitution worker Jeremiah. The third oldest is an ex hustler and former U.S. Marine Angel, and the youngest is aspiring rock musician Jack. During their investigation of the crime of what seems to be a simple robbery gone wrong, they discover that it was a cover for a hit put out on Evelyn after interrogating the witness who turned out to be involved. The brothers track down the pair of hired guns who shot and killed Evelyn, and when they refuse to give up any information, they are executed by the enraged Bobby and Angel. The next day, the brothers' friend turned Detroit Police Lieutenant Green and his partner, Detective Fowler, confront the brothers about the murders. While the brothers deny involvement, Lieutenant Green warns them that their interference with Evelyn's case is ill advised and that would put them in over their heads. Confronting Jeremiah upon the discovery of his business failing and benefiting from Evelyn's life insurance, he informs his brothers that his construction company was failing precisely because he was not getting involved with gang lord Victor Sweet. For a project to succeed, he had to pay off the right people, which he initially failed to do. Trying to restore the business and relieve pressure on himself, Jeremiah pays off Sweet's henchmen. As for the life insurance, he explains that the money went directly to him for his daughters because he paid all of Evelyn's bills while the others were not around. Sweet's men attack the brothers. Jack is shot during the subsequent gunfight and dies shortly after. Bobby and Angel fend off and kill the gunmen. Lieutenant Green informs them that Evelyn filed a police report regarding Victor Sweet and his involvement in Jeremiah's affairs, which Fowler passed on to Sweet. He warns them to stay out of the matter and let him handle Fowler, and then promises to work together on Sweet. Green confronts Fowler about Evelyn, and he's realized he's a crooked cop. After they walk out of the bar, knowing Green will arrest him, Fowler kills him and makes dispatch believe two black assailants had fired upon them. The remaining brothers devise a plan to buy Victor Sweet off with the $400,000 from their mother's life insurance. Arriving at Fowler's, Angel subdues him. Jeremiah goes to meet Sweet while Angel's girlfriend, Sophie, heads to the police station where she tells them that Angel is planning to kill a police officer. Hearing the sirens in the distance, Fowler believes they are coming for Angel until Angel opens his jacket, revealing a wire. He claims the whole conversation was taped. including Fowler's admission that he killed Green. Now I'm going to the final act and ending. You know the procedure. You got 5 seconds to stop this video at once. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below as I start counting down now. If you've seen this movie already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. The police arrive at Fowler's in full force, at which point Fowler gets the upper hand on Angel. With his gun pointed at Angel's head, he tells the police officers outside to back off and is killed in the ensuing firefight. Meanwhile, at frozen over Lake St. Clair, Jeremiah meets with Sweet, who reveals he intends to kill him. Jeremiah also reveals that the $400,000 was paid off to Sweet's henchmen, who were embittered due to Sweet's mistreatment. Sweet angrily demands to know who will be brave enough to kill him, just as Bobby shows up. The two brawl, during which Bobby uses his hockey skills to get the upper hand, knocking Sweet unconscious. His former henchmen seal his fate, dropping him into a hole carved in the ice. The three brothers, taken into police custody, are being in an attempt to make them confess to the murder of Sweet, but give up nothing, and are eventually released. Back home, they set about repairing their mother's house and continuing their lives together. End of story. So what did I think of Four Brothers? Now, while I've only seen this twice, I will say this is a pretty cool film and what have you. Now, again, I said this is more kind of feels like a modern day adaptation of The Sons of K. Elder, which I have seen before, but I need to rewatch again because I might review that sometime down the road. Now, that film was released 40 years prior to the release of this film. So this kind of feels like a modern day update, except it's more of a big C type thing, not a western, you know. But I will say it does have a pretty good cast though, and a pretty good soundtrack. Its score composed by David Arnold wasn't too bad at all. Upon its release, it did pretty well, going on to make $92 million worldwide on its $30 million budget. The reviews, Rotten Tomatoes has it at 53%, saying despite striking a believable rapport among its principal actors, the film overwhelms it with ultra-violent, vigilante, glorifying action and it devolves into too many fractured, insubstantial thematic directions. Metacritic has a score of 49, and Audiences Poll by Cinema score gave the film an average grade of a B+. Yeah, I do agree with them, but however, I do feel like this has its moments and what have you. I do like the action sequences. That really did prove to be a big thing and what have you. Especially with this being directed by the late great John Singleton. Now, most people would remember directed films like Boys in the Hood, which I am going to try to finally take the time to watch finally, and I will review that next year. And of course, he had also done other films before this, including Poetic Justice, Higher Learning, and and the Shaft remake or reboot with Samuel L. Jackson. Plus two other films that had Tyrese Gibson in them, Baby Boy from 2001 and Too Fast, Too Furious, the second Fast and Furious film, which was released 2 years prior. So I'm going to say that Singleton does a pretty good job with his direction and what have you. Anyway, this does have a pretty good soundtrack and what have you. And has many great songs that are included that are mostly songs done by Motown artists, given the fact that Motown released the soundtrack to this. That included tunes from the Jackson 5, Marvin Gaye, the Four Tops, the Temptations, plus a lot of others. And I think that was pretty good and what have you. So that proved to be good. But our cast, however, I actually liked. Bobby Mercer is played by Mark Wahlberg, who does one hell of a job on his performance. Tyrese Gibson as Angel, he's good. Andre Benjamin, you may know him best as Andre 3000 of the hip hopping duo known as Outkast. as Jeremiah. I'll say he does a pretty good job. And Jack is played by Garrett Hedlund, who recently did Troy and Friday Night Lights before this. Of course, he went on to appear in Aragon, Tron Legacy, Country Strong, Unbroken, and many other films after this. I will say he's pretty good. Terrence Howard plays Lieutenant Green. I'd say he's a pretty good character. Josh Charles plays Detective Fowler. Yeah, not too bad. Sofia Vergara, who of course most people would know her best as she was pretty big. Well, sort of bad time. This was still before she even made it on TV's Modern Family a few years later. Yeah, this was pre Modern Family for her. So as Sophie, she's pretty good. Fionnuala Flanagan played Evelyn Mercer. Yeah, she's pretty good. We also have Taraji P. Henson as Jeremiah's wife, Camille. She's pretty good. And playing Victor Sweet is Chiwetel Ejiofor. Yes, this was one of his early films before he even became an even bigger name in the film 12 Years a Slave. And then, of course, he played Baron Mordo in Doctor Strange. And he's been in lots of other films. So I gotta say, he's a pretty good villain and what have you. So the cast is pretty good. So overall, I do like the direction, the story's fine and what have you. The action sequences are cool, the music's good, and so is the cast. So Four Brothers may not be one of the best, but I still think it's a pretty good action flick about getting back at someone who took someone you loved and what have you, or something like that, you know. So would I recommend Four Brothers? Well, I'd say sure, go ahead, give it a try. You might enjoy this. So what did you think of Four Brothers? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, be a part of the Big D Nation, continue to help support my channel, and you know the rest. I'm still 13 subscribers away from 1,000, but I can still make it eventually. Join me next time when I review Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. So if you like this, check out my reviews of these other films Mark Wahlberg did. Here's my review of a film he did 2 years prior before this, and that would be the remake of The Italian Job from 2003 in the upper left-hand corner. In the upper right-hand corner is my recent review of a film he did 5 years after this, and that was The Other Guys with him and Will Ferrell. Or if you'd like more with old Tyrese Gibson, check out his second film he did with director John Singleton in Too Fast, Too Furious in the bottom left-hand corner, and the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe if you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc. Then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.